Right, so I'm doing an oil change here, an engine oil change. You want to do this at least once a year really, or probably more often. But if you have a look at this, the engine oil here that we have is pretty black. It should look sort of golden coloured. If it gets black, then it's time for a change. So I've got myself some engine oil here. This cost me £20, and a new oil filter, which is what you'll need. This cost me £5, so the whole change is £25. You'll need something to catch the oil, because what we're going to be doing is accessing this bolt here. That's the engine oil drain. That's a 70mm on a MX-5, so I'm going to be undoing that and draining all the oil out. I've also put the front wheels on bricks. It helps me get under here, and it also helps the oil drain out. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so you also want to make sure your engine's been running, because it warms the oil up, and oil drains better when it's been warmed up. Also, this shoots out. Once I take this out, it's going to shoot out in that direction. So I want to aim this catcher to avoid it going on the floor. I'm just going to take this. There it goes. Horrible black oil. Right, just got to wait for that to drain. It takes a few minutes. So while that's draining, we can change the oil filter. So this is the new one. I'm going to put this down, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. This is at the side of the engine here. Just down there. There's that cylinder shape. Oh, it's not focusing. There we go, the oil filter's down there. You can get these special tools to undo them. They just unscrew. But I prefer to just use a rag. A lot of oil spills out at this stage, so it is a good idea to have a rag handy and prepare yourself for it. So I'm going to reach down there. And just unscrew it, and that's unscrewing nicely. You can see just through the gap there. Oh, come on. So we've got the old oil filter here. What we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of oil around this rubber here, and then we're just going to pop this back on and screw it up, just hand tighten it back where the other one came off. Right, so you can see my nice new oil filter on there. That's tightened as tight as I can get it with my hands, really. So it's time to check up on this, and as you can see, the oil here has spilled down from me taking the oil filter off. The oil that's coming out of the plug there, that's pretty much never going to stop dripping unless I leave it here for hours and hours and hours. It's kind of a law of diminishing returns. So at some point, just put the plug back in, tighten it up, and then we can refill it. That's what I'm going to do now. Alright, so that's tightened up now. It doesn't have to be incredibly tight, just do it reasonably tight so you're confident it's not going to come out. So what we need to do now, we've drained the oil, put the plug back in, put a new filter on. What I need to do is I need to get it off these bricks, because when I'm filling it up, I need to fill it up just to the right level, and if the car needs to be flat basically in order to get that accurate. Now we can't start the engine up because there's no engine oil in it, so what we need to do is roll it off these bricks. So I'm going to make sure it's in neutral. Yep. Oh. Take it off the handbrake and just roll the car forward like that. There we go. Now what we need to do is we need to fill up from here. Take off the engine oil filler cap, and if you've got a funnel, that's great. I forgot to buy one, so I've fashioned my own funnel out of a milk carton here. So that'll sit just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up. I think it takes somewhere between somewhere above 4 litres. You don't want to overfill it because that can damage your car. So you need to keep filling it up and checking on this dipstick. And it should be filled so that it's between the two lines marked on the dipstick. Hang on. You can see these two lines here. That line and that line, min and max, needs to be somewhere between those two. So you have to keep rechecking it and filling it and rechecking it. I need 2 hands for that, so I'm going to go and do that. Right, so I'm pretty satisfied that's to the correct level. So just to double check, we're going to clean off the dipstick here. Plunge it all the way down. Take it out. And then we're going to inspect this. So it's difficult to show on here. But yeah, you can see the oil level comes to halfway between the F and the L lines. So I'm satisfied with that. What we need to do now is we need to dispose of this oil sensibly, responsibly. We also need to dispose of the oil filter, which I've placed in this box. So we're going to go to the local tip.